another huge story in terms of battling corruption, demanding transparency for the most powerful person on the planet, the President of the United States. But another big case is the records fight we're in for Joe Biden's records up in the University of Delaware. The Senate records of Joe Biden are all hidden in the University of Delaware. We're not allowed to get them according to a secret deal until after he leaves political office. I think the rule is for 2 years, the agreement is. But the University of Delaware is a public university, publicly funded. We thought, with our friends at the Daily Caller News Foundation, that we should be able to get the records. And at least get records about the deal to keep the records secret from the American people. And the response back from the government was, or the University of Delaware was, no, because state money was used to spend on these records. And then Special Counsel Hur issued a special counsel report saying they paid Joe Biden's former staffers to help gather the records. So we went back to the court and said, what's going on here? And that's kind of a quick summary of it all. So there's a hearing that was scheduled for Wednesday, and the hearing took place on our Judicial Watch petition to reopen the case for the release of Joe Biden's Senate records, because the courts had ruled, well, they're saying no government money. So if there's no government money, you can't get access to the records. 4 years. It went up to the Supreme Court of Delaware twice. And we want the case reopened in light of, as I described, the findings of Special Counsel Robert Hur that contradict representations made under oath by representatives of the University of Delaware that no consideration was paid to Biden in connection with his gift of the Senate records. In July 2023, the Delaware Supreme Court sided with the university, denying the release of the records because the university stated to the courts that no tax dollars were used to manage them. So the case has been shut down since July. On February 5th, 2024, Hur released his report. It calls into question the representations by the university. In its petition to reopen the case, Judicial Watch argues the following. The university's affidavit provides in relevant part that no consideration was paid to President Biden, state-funded or otherwise, in connection with the senatorial papers. To the contrary, the special counsel report found that Mr. Biden asked two of his former longtime Senate staffers to review his boxes in courtesy storage, and that the staffers were paid by the University of Delaware to perform a pre-gift review. As our client representing the editor-in-chief at the Daily Caller News Foundation, Michael Bassek, the Hur report revelations are absolutely stunning. He said the University of Delaware has some serious explaining to do. And I noted that this is powerful evidence that the courts were misled about the Biden papers. So remember, there's the deal, and then there's the do you see the thumb thing go up every time I do something like that?
Yeah, it's a Mac issue.
Oh, it's a Mac issue, I'm told. So the deal is the deal is we want the deal documents, and of course the senatorial papers, which are kind of a much, which is hopefully a path forward if the case is reopened. That we have a path forward to reopening or gaining access to those records ultimately. And of course, President Biden could make the records available immediately. And why is it important we gain access to the records? Well, do I need to tell you why it's important? First of all, he was hiding classified records and stolen classified records in those materials from his days as a vice senator. And he was given a pass by Hur for his criminal activity. even while Trump is being prosecuted. And plus, people want to know what he was doing as a senator. He's president of the United States. The more to know, the more we know, the better off we are. So we had the hearing on this issue this week. I listened in, participated, and were ably represented by our lawyers up in Delaware before the court judge there. And, the judge had a hearing, and he listened to both sides, questioned both sides. He's obviously carefully examining the various issues, and he'll rule relatively soon. And I go through this with you because it's an important issue. It's something that's personal to Joe Biden that he's covering up. I mean, the University of Delaware is just following his wishes and keeping these records from us, the American people. And then there's a question about University of Delaware, which is a powerful entity up in Delaware, potentially lying to a court to protect Joe Biden. So it's a big deal. Another huge story in terms of battling corruption, demanding transparency for the most powerful person on the planet, the President of the United States. So I'll let you know how that turns out when we hear from the court. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.